Hey, welcome back to ClearSpot. A slower project pipeline doesn't mean lower risk. It usually means fiercer competition for grid access, capital and margins, and more pressure on existing assets to perform. Europe still looks like a solar success story from the outside, with record installed capacity, high targets, and strong policy headlines. Underneath, though, growth is hitting constraints such as saturated grid queues, tougher permitting, and more selective financing. For existing asset owners, that changes the game because operational excellence becomes a strategic differentiator, not just good hygiene. Key bottlenecks include grid queue saturation with hundreds of gigawatts waiting for connection or reinforcement. Permitting friction is another bottleneck, with more complex environmental and community requirements and more legal challenges to large projects. Financing selectivity means lenders and investors are choosing the best-run projects and portfolios, not just any megawatt they can find. This combination tends to slow down new builds while increasing scrutiny on how existing assets are run. If new capacity is harder to bring online, the installed base becomes more valuable, but only if it performs. That pushes emphasis onto uptime and yield recovery, because every extra basis point of availability, or PR, is more meaningful in a tight market. Repowering logic means making smart decisions about when to replace inverters, retrofit modules, or add storage. Contract discipline involves using PPAs, grid agreements, and O&M contracts proactively to protect value and manage risk. In other words, just operating is not enough, because you're stewarding a financial asset in a more competitive environment. The good news is that tighter markets often reward the best operators. Portfolios with clear data, strong documentation, and consistent performance tend to command higher valuations in secondary transactions. They raise capital on better terms and win trust from lenders and off-takers. If everyone can build, quality gets lost in the noise. If building is hard, the delta between average and excellent operations becomes very visible. Here are a few questions to put on the table at your next management meeting. Do we have a clear view of recoverable yield across each site, and are we actively chasing it? Are our SCADA logs, incident reports, and archives strong enough to support future claims or refinancing due diligence? Where do we see the biggest gap between design assumptions and real-world performance, and what is our plan to close it? How prepared are our contracts, PPAs, grid and O&M for more curtailment, more grid constraints, and more policy change? The answers will tell you how ready you are for a slower but more demanding market. Europe's solar boom is not over, but the easy growth phase is. In that environment, every basis point of recovered yield, every avoided dispute, and every cleaner dataset becomes strategic. Treat your operational excellence as a competitive advantage, not a back-office function. That mindset shift is what will separate resilient portfolios from fragile ones over the next decade. Subscribe and share for more solar insights. ClearSpot. Smart device, smarter decisions.